Are you terrified of coming home to heartbreak? The fear of discovering that the person you love and trust has betrayed you can be paralyzing. It's a nightmare scenario that many of us dread but hope never to experience. The thought alone can make your heart race and your mind spiral into a whirlwind of anxiety. You start questioning everything, wondering if the love you believed in was ever real. The uncertainty can be overwhelming, leaving you feeling vulnerable and exposed. I was too, until it actually happened. The moment you realize that your worst fear has come true is indescribable. It's like the ground beneath you has crumbled, and you're free-falling into an abyss of despair. The tears come unbidden, and the sadness feels like a heavy weight pressing down on your chest. You find yourself staring into space, trying to make sense of the chaos that has suddenly taken over your life. The emotional pain is so intense that it feels almost physical, like a wound that won't stop bleeding. So, here's the story. I'm a 24-year-old guy who just walked in on my fiancé cheating on me with another girl. It was a scene straight out of a nightmare. I had always trusted her implicitly, never doubting her loyalty for a second. But there she was, in our bedroom, with another girl. The shock was so profound that it felt like a punch to the gut. I couldn't believe my eyes. It was as if time had stopped, and I was frozen in that moment of betrayal. It doesn't even feel real. I kept pinching myself, hoping to wake up from this horrible dream. But no matter how hard I tried, the reality remained the same. I was dazed and confused, my mind struggling to process what I had just witnessed. I shook my head in disbelief, trying to make sense of the senseless. How could this happen? How could the person I loved and trusted do something so hurtful? I drove 18 hours to visit my grandpa, whose health is rapidly declining. It was a long and exhausting journey, but I was determined to see him. My grandpa has always been a pillar of strength in my life, and I wanted to be there for him in his time of need. The drive gave me plenty of time to think, and I found myself reflecting on the importance of family and the fragility of life. Little did I know that my own life was about to be turned upside down. I took time off work, planned my trip down to the last detail. I wanted everything to go smoothly so that I could focus on spending quality time with my grandpa. I packed my suitcase with care, making sure I had everything I needed for the trip. I even mapped out my route to ensure I wouldn't get lost. It was a meticulously planned journey, and I was looking forward to seeing my grandpa and catching up with him, but decided to drive back in one go to see my fiancée sooner. I missed her terribly and couldn't wait to be back in her arms. The thought of seeing her smile and hearing her laugh kept me going through the long hours on the road. I was determined to make it back home as quickly as possible, even if it meant driving through the night. My love for her was my driving force, and I couldn't wait to be reunited with her. I got home at 4 a.m. and heard music blasting. It was strange because she usually sleeps by 1-2 a.m. The loud music was completely out of character for her, and it immediately set off alarm bells in my mind. I wondered if something was wrong or if she was in some kind of trouble. My heart started pounding as I approached the house, my mind racing with all sorts of possibilities. That was odd because she usually sleeps by 1-2 a.m. I checked the clock again to make sure I wasn't mistaken. It was definitely 4 a.m. and the music was still blaring. I felt a knot of anxiety forming in my stomach as I tried to figure out what was going on. Was she having a party? Was she in danger? The questions kept coming, and I knew I had to find out the truth. I walked inside and found her in our bedroom. The sight that greeted me was something I will never forget. My heart sank as I took in the scene before me. It was like a punch to the gut, and I felt a wave of nausea wash over me. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was a moment that would be etched in my memory forever. With another girl who couldn't have been older than 19. She was young, almost a teenager, and the sight of them together was like a dagger to my heart. I felt a mix of anger, betrayal, and sadness all at once. How could she do this to me? How could she betray our love and trust in such a cruel way? The questions swirled in my mind, but there were no answers. There she was, giving oral to this girl. It was a sight that I never expected to see, and it left me feeling completely shattered. The betrayal was so deep that it felt like a physical wound. I couldn't believe that the person I loved and trusted could do something so hurtful. It was a moment of pure devastation, and I felt like my world was falling apart. My jaw hit the floor. I was in complete shock, unable to process what I was seeing. It felt like a bad dream, and I kept hoping that I would wake up and find that it wasn't real. But no matter how hard I tried, the reality remained the same. I was heartbroken and devastated, and I didn't know what to do. She jumped up, crying hysterically. Her tears were a stark contrast to the betrayal I felt. She was sobbing uncontrollably, trying to explain herself, but I couldn't hear her words. The pain was too overwhelming, and I felt like I was drowning in a sea of emotions. Her tears did nothing to ease the hurt I was feeling. In fact, they only made it worse. I had no idea she was into women, and now I get to see her with another girl. It was a revelation that added another layer of confusion to an already devastating situation. I felt like I didn't know her at all. The person I thought I knew and loved was a stranger to me now. I was left questioning everything about our relationship and wondering if there were other secrets she had been keeping from me. I didn't know what to do. I just walked back to my truck, with her following me outside, completely naked. I needed to get away, to put some distance between us so that I could think clearly. Her presence was too much to bear, and I couldn't stand to be near her. I felt like I was suffocating, and I needed to escape. She was calling out to me, but I couldn't hear her words. All I could think about was getting away. I drove to a local motel to sleep and think. I needed a place where I could be alone with my thoughts, away from the chaos and confusion. The motel room was a stark contrast to the home I had just left, but it offered a sense of solitude that I desperately needed. I lay on the bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to make sense of everything that had happened. The pain was still fresh, and I knew that it would take time to heal. Now I've woken up to 18374466 texts from her, and I have no idea what to do. Each message was a reminder of the betrayal, and I couldn't bring myself to read them. The notifications kept coming, and I felt a sense of dread every time my phone buzzed. I knew that I needed to confront the situation, but I wasn't ready. The pain was still too raw, and I needed time to process everything. If you've ever felt like your world just shattered, you're not alone. The pain of betrayal is something that many people have experienced, and it's a feeling that can be incredibly isolating. But it's important to remember that you're not alone. There are others who have gone through similar experiences and have come out stronger on the other side. It's okay to feel heartbroken and devastated. It's a natural part of the healing process. Take a breath, give yourself some time, and remember, it's okay to prioritize your own healing. Self-care is crucial during times of emotional turmoil. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to feel the pain. It's okay to cry, to be angry, and to grieve the loss of the relationship. Give yourself the time and space you need to heal. Engage in activities that bring you peace and comfort, whether it's meditating, taking a walk in nature, or spending time with loved ones. We'll get through this together. Healing from betrayal is a journey, and it's one that you don't have to take alone. Reach out to friends, family, or support groups who can offer a listening ear and a shoulder to lean on. Sharing your feelings and experiences with others can be incredibly therapeutic. Remember, you are not alone in this. Together, we can find the strength to heal and move forward.